Hey y'all. So, I've been in business now for just over 4 years. This is my fifth year in business. And over the holidays, I was thinking about the things that I wish I had known or that I had done when I first started my business that I'm now really regretting. So, I thought I would share my top 10 things that I wish I'd known when I started my online business. So, number one has to do with the V word, visible. When I first started my business, and I can't say that I'm that much better at it now, I really didn't like getting visible. I don't really know why. I don't dislike being on video or talking in front of people. That's not a problem. I was a Toastmaster, thank you very much. But getting visible was hard for me. And I would see all these amazing people out there doing it and knowing that would lead me to what I was really wanting to grow my business into. But I was nervous. I was scared. And I think I was afraid of negative feedback or of people making fun or honestly or questioning my knowledge. And that made me really uncomfortable. So I didn't get out there and get visible. It's something that I still struggle with now, and I really have to have a kick in the pants to get it done. But if you're starting a new business, or at any time in your business, it doesn't have to be new, the more visible you can get, the more you can share with others what it is you do and how you can serve them. It's not only going to grow your business, but it's going to help more people. So don't be afraid to get visible. Number two is I spent a lot of time focusing on what I would probably call busy work, not actually on activities that moved my business forward. Now, what activities move my business forward? That's kind of changed a little bit over time, but I would spend my time doing things that I would call like research. I was not researching. I was scrolling social media. Or I would rewrite something that I'd already written, or I would clean up my desk, right? Like I would feel productive, but it really wasn't moving my business forward. One of the things that I learned from my amazing mentor, Rachel Peterson, is to focus on three big rocks, as she calls them. I'm using air quotes a lot today. Three big rocks every day. And those rocks need to be needle movers in your business. And again, I'm not great at it, but it makes me focus on the things that I am prioritizing. And it makes me at least think twice about whether or not something is actually important or whether I'm doing it to avoid doing something else. Number three is I would have spent more time early on learning more about my finances and what my financial goals could be, should be, how I should be saving, what I should be doing to get tax benefits, what I should be doing to avoid things. I didn't spend a lot of time in finances because it was just easier not to. One thing I'm glad I did do is I have a business checking account and I use a debit card 99.9% of the time so that all of my money was coming out of one place, which made it a lot easier to reconcile. But of course, I'm not a tax professional. I'm not a financial advisor. Please consult your financial advisor for the right tips for you. But I would definitely have started paying more attention to my finances more quickly if I had to go back and do it over. So, number four, and I don't know that this was so much of a surprise, but I'd never thought about it before. When I started my business, I had been working for the same company for 15 years. Most of my friends worked for the company. I had my relationships all centered around the company, which sounds a little bit Stepford Wives, but you know what I mean. And once I left the company and I started my own business, I realized how lonely entrepreneurship could be. And one of the best things that I did was I joined Rachel Peterson's Social Click literally the day after my last day at my old company. And not only did I learn a ton from Rachel and from her coaches, and did I get to have a lot of amazing experiences. I mean, heck, we went to Greece all together. Like, how cool is that? But the thing that has been the most valuable for me has been the people, the community. I have a group of people that I can call day or night, in tears or jumping up and down with happiness, because we have created those relationships to support each other and cheer each other on and cheer each other up whenever we need it, because we all get it. We are walking a similar path. And that's been really special for me, especially as I've moved out of, an environment with so many friends and colleagues that I really cherished. So number 5 is when providing for your family falls solely on your shoulders, that's a lot of pressure. Now, full disclosure, when I started my business, the plan was not for me to carry the responsibility of the household and making all the money. But my husband got an opportunity with the company that we both worked for that allowed him to retire early at 43. And that gave us an opportunity for him to join me in the business. So it actually really worked out well. But I do have to admit that there are nights when I think about, well, if I just don't want to work tomorrow, then I'm not going to get paid tomorrow. So it is one of those things that keeps me kind of on my toes. Number 6 is don't try to do everything yourself, and don't try to do it all at once. Now, when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a solopreneur, you have to wear a lot of hats. And some of that is out of necessity, and some of that is out of a lack of funds. But when you get to a point where you can comfortably outsource the things that you just don't like doing, or the things that you just don't think you're good at, the better off you're going to be, so that you can stay in your zone of genius, so you can do the thing that only you can do. Number 7 is something that I still look back on, and I tell myself at least it was a learning experience, but I would be choosier, more selective about the clients that I chose to work with. The first couple of years, I was in a little bit of a scarcity mindset where I felt like if I didn't take a job with a potential client, then no other clients were going to come along. So this was my only shot. I didn't have a choice. And that's just not true. While I got something out of every client engagement that I have had this entire almost 5 years, some of them caused me more stress and anxiety and frustration than others. And some of them just weren't a good fit for me and my values and the things that I was looking to accomplish. So going back, I would have been a little bit more selective and recognized that there are other clients out there, and I didn't have to take whatever came along just because I felt like I had to have the revenue. Number 8 is something I figured out pretty quickly, but I've really embraced this lately, is investing in the tools that I needed to do what I do, and to do it well and effectively and with excellence. I would invest in the tools that I needed instead of trying to scrape by with free tools or free versions of tools, right? So, for example, it took me a long time to upgrade to Canva Pro, and it's only like $15 a month. But I would search through pictures and hopefully find the picture that was available in the free version and wasn't in the paid version. But when I finally just upgraded, it made it so much easier, and I didn't have to spend so much time trolling through pictures looking for one that might possibly work for my use. So the investment in tools was not something I really thought about until I did it and I started realizing the benefit of it. So that's not to say throw all your money away on tools you don't need, but don't be afraid to invest in tools and in experiences and relationships that will benefit you more in the long run. Number 9 is something that I have not at all perfected, now for some almost 5 years down the road. And that is, I would have put more boundaries out there for myself. There's the old thing is that, when you leave a 40-hour-a-week job and become an entrepreneur, you go from working 40 hours a week to working 80 hours a week. And that was so true. Now, okay, not 80 hours a week, but I still do. I was working a lot more than I really expected to be working. And so I've really had to place some boundaries on myself and say, no, you can do this tomorrow. You need to go take a walk with the dogs or whatever. And they're probably going to freak out because I just said the W word. But the more you can protect your own time and your own mental health and your own values and desires and the things you want out of life, the happier you're going to be, both in the short term and in the long term. And finally, and this kind of goes along with that, is I wish I would have prioritized my own health a little bit better. I haven't done that at all lately either. And I can blame coronavirus, but the truth is I spend too much time sitting in a chair and not enough time moving around and doing things. And that's something that I'm really going to work on for this year, but really just ongoing, because if you're sick, your business can't move forward. When all of that pressure is on your shoulders, then you don't have time to take a break for a sick day, and that's just not healthy for anybody. So as you are moving into an early phase, the next phase of your business, think about some of these things, take lessons out of my book so that you don't make the same ones. And let me know if there are other things that you wish you would have done when you started your own business. Or, on the flip side, things that you're glad you did when you started your business. Just drop me a comment. Thanks so much.